I'm here to talk about a number of subjects, but I want to remind the crowd about how much Ursula's done for me, helping me sell my first book.
Oh, she's great.
Which was about my great-great-grandfather, the perhaps the most evil man that ever lived in America, H. Holmes, The Devil in the White City.
Wow, I am a fan of the story. It turned into a huge, the novel was a big success, and so you must just be riding a wave of some weird, weird situation for you to be in, but kind of cool.
I actually have a television series next year.
Oh, cool. Tell us about that.
It's in production now. I'm under confidentiality agreements.
Okay.
I can't tell you the network or the name of the show, but I'm very, very excited about it. And it'll run for the full year. And we're going to film in London. It's going to be quite a show, and has a lot to do with my journey after finding out who my ancestor was, and my search to see if it was true or not.
Wow. So you had some inkling that you were involved in this, and went on a journey to discover and found out, yes, indeed, this is your relative.
Well, as I portray in the book, my grandfather decided to tell the family at a family dinner one night the secret that he'd kept from even my grandmother, who wouldn't have married him had she known. I mean, at the turn of the century, this man was known as the devil. He was a demon. And the family moved to the West Coast, California, to get away from the stigma.
Wow.
So when I first learned about this, I was about 40 years old. And,
oh my gosh.
And I set aside my career, and I wanted to find out the truth, and I wrote Bloodstains. And now, the world is starting to listen to my story.
Now, is this something that in your life before discovering it, is this something you would have been interested in? Do you follow the genre of horror or true crime or anything like that?
That's a great question. No, I wouldn't have been interested. I was a California lawyer, practicing criminal law, and I didn't read Stephen King or any of those things.
Yeah, of course, that's exactly what I was.
And then whammo, my grandfather revealed that no one in my family after this monster was a criminal.
Okay,
Two were war heroes. One was the mayor in Florida.
A couple are lawyers, though. No.
Yeah, we didn't even have anyone that jaywalked. But I knew we had idiosyncrasies that related back to this man.
Wow.
And that bothered me, and I wanted to find out what the truth was, and about DNA and chromosomes and those, because so much of life today you hear doctors stating that we follow in the footsteps of these ancestors.
Absolutely.
And what I've determined, and I wanted to display and explain to the world, is it's about choices. It's not about DNA.
Oh, sure. There's, plenty of people that have a little psychopathic tendencies in them, but, not everybody ends up doing terrible things. Most people don't, but they're, probably the same person that makes a killer also makes a creative person. It could go either way. It's something different about someone's personality can sometimes go wonderfully right.
That's an excellent way to put it, and that's what I believe.
So, and that is kind of a neat opportunity for you to look into this, and it's given you an opportunity to, now you're out there. Now you're kind of an author and a bit of a celebrity here, and certainly in these circles. Tell us more about what's in the book.
I wanted the story to be about someone who bought the book and picked it up. I asked them to step into my shoes. What would you do had your grandfather told you your ancestor was this monster? I mean, this man created a murder castle. Yeah. He was perhaps the real Dr. Frankenstein, okay?
A lot of it was...
People understand that.
There was so much planning and forethought. If I remember correctly, he built a chamber, where he could kill and nobody would ever hear anything. I mean, there's a lot of thought went into how to just be the most murderous person he could be.
He was the evil genius. I'm always trying to explain to people, we tend to stress the serial killer aspect, but if you take that part of the story out, here was perhaps the most complex con man in American history.
Yeah.
Too. He was always thinking ahead. He was playing chess with life always.
Wow.
And unfortunately, someone had to pay for his games always.
You have to have an understanding of what makes people tick if you want to do such terrible things to them. So, you know, he couldn't have been a totally cold-hearted man. He would have had, he was able to make people trust him.
Oh, he had 5 or 6 wives. My great-great-grandmother was his only legal wife.
Okay, the first.
But then he had hundreds of mistresses.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So he must have just been really something.
Yeah.
Well, what an interesting story for you, and we wish you huge success with the book.
Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on your show.